Welcome to the McGolf Shop. All right, welcome to the McGolf Shop. Jim McCleary, most awarded certified club maker, club fitter, and Grandpa or Beaupa? Beaupa. Where we talk about club fittings, club repairs, and club reviews. And on this one is a boxes to builds, where we're going to do a Srixon 585. So we're going to let the Wattman go, and we're going to talk about a build. All right, Srixon 585s. Just got them in. Thought it'd be a really good build to do. Blake from Miami. Blake from Miami, he called up and asked if we could, he saw some of me working on Srixons and thought that, well, maybe I do carry the Srixon product. And the answer is initially no. Now, a little history with me and Srixon. In the beginning, we were Srixon component dealers only, meaning that we would build it for you, much like we do our Wilsons and we do the new levels and whatnot. However, they went under new management and it didn't quite work out for us. So time goes by. It's been 4 or 5 years now. So it appears that Srixon has taken over its own management yet again. And with that, we were approached to reopen our account. And we thought about it, thought maybe, the product was very nice to be sure. We just didn't know, based on the other dealers, whether or not we wanted to do that, not to interfere. So here comes a phone call from Miami and asked if I could build them. I said, well, let's see, let me go make a few phone calls and see. As it turns out, my account is still sitting there with Srixon. So a few pieces of paperwork to update it, and voila, I am able to do it yet again. So right now, since it's mid-season, it'll be kind of a limited thing. But we can get a hold of the Srixon stuff. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to show you the Srixon build. Now, again, these are 585s. We're going to use Accra IE Series 70s. And we're going to use some Tour Velvet MCC4s, the new ones. So let's go along and let's see us build them. You saw everything that was being weighed. Shafts came out good. There were only 2 that were 1 gram away from all the rest. The grips came out great. Only one was different than the rest. The heads came out, spaced out pretty good. They're a little light, right? They're a little light. And if I was making an extended club or whatever, this would be a perfect set. So I might have to add a little bit of weight to get it into that right flex category. Now I want to talk to you about the Srixon 585s. Now I've not looked at the website for a description, so this is totally from me. Alright, so 585, it is a forge club. How do I know? Well, because it says forge right there. Okay, there's the forge part of it. Now we look at it. Now this is a 6-iron. Okay, definitely a cavity back, very generous. You can see that that one has a pocket, and then this one is the pitching wedge. All right, you can see the pocket's a little bit bigger, a little bit deeper, and you'll see why here in a second. Now they were a little bit shy in the hosel area, and I was just a real quick reaming to get them to parallel tip. That was a no-brainer because forge had cut right through it. Now 585 Srixon models as a whole have always had generous soles. All right, generous soles. There being the 6-iron, and there being the pitching wedge. All right, now you see how the front, right up here, the leading edge, is a little more dull than the back edge, right? And that makes perfect sense in the fact that if you're going to be hitting more in this particular area, then, you know, might as well have it like that anyway. So what does that mean to me as a fitter slash club maker? Well, if you're a guy that is a divot taker, right? If you're attacking into the ball and it has plenty of bounces, that's the leading edge. See how that leading edge has plenty of bounce, so you're not going to get stuck. It has plenty of sole to bounce you out. Now my biggest concern would be is if you were a sweeper type, right? And that meaning the kind of guy that comes in and likes to flick up. You might, if you're a sweeper type and you haven't seen something like this, you might take a look, because if we have it, see how it's got a V sole? All right, so the V sole, so if you come like this, that means the trailing edge is way up. So even as a even as a scooper, it may or may not get in the way. It would just depend on the area that you play, the thickness of your turf, that kind of stuff. But if you were certainly that type of guy, I would certainly, you know, I would try it out before just saying, oh yeah, that's a really great looking club. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not, but in these lines in here, they're lines within lines. Are they totally aggressive? No, but it kind of gives it a dimensional depth, I guess the way I would say, a dimensional depth. So a good looking head. Now to give you the difference, 6-iron pitching wedge. 6-iron pitching wedge. Don't look too, there we go. Don't look too different that way. However, if I was to show you the other way, 6-iron pitching wedge. So the pitching wedge is certainly thicker, 6-iron, so there's definite shapes, definite shape changes, which is what I like to see. So each club has its own specific purpose. So it does have a good look. It's shiny in the right spots. It's dull in the other right spots. It has a really good finish, and it seems to be very stout. So I think it's going to be a pretty good build. So I just wanted to throw that at you. Oh, one more thing. Okay, you see me do this a lot. All right, the Accra I series. This happens to be the 70-gram shaft. All right, and like we've talked about before in my other shaft video, that the Accra makes a shaft that goes from 40 all the way up into the 100 plus. And as you go from the lighter weight to the taller weight, so does the flex. So you can get into very, very flexible in the 40 and 50, quite possibly the 60, the 70 starts probably, I would say, in the irregular range, and it climbs up. So you got to know that kind of stuff. So it's turning out, and so Blake from Miami wanted regular, so we're just about perfect with that particular instance. Finally, as you saw, the new from Golf Pride is the, Golf Pride Tour Velvet Plus. Tour Velvet Plus. Well, Tour Velvet Plus 4. What is that? You've seen me talk about the MCC4. You've seen me talk about the CP2. Well, Tour Velvet has joined that family. So basically what it means is this particular area isn't as tapered as it once was. In fact, it's going to probably act like there's 4 layers of tape right there. and you still get that Tour Velvet feel. A lot of guys like that. You know, I like it where it's still grippy, but it's not sticky, right? And that's what this Tour Velvet is. And there you go. Let's see if we can get it to zero in on that. Hopefully it is. So, standard grip. They tend to run a little bit bigger than normal. So, let's go build some clubs now. Shop, where we've put together the Srixon 585s with the Acura i70s and the new Tour Velvet MCC4, or the Tour Velvet Plus 4 grip. Now, what I wanted to talk to you about, you know, I had visited the website, got some of the particulars off of it. All right, it says it's a forged club. And I said, how did we know? Because it says so right there. All right, so what does that actually mean? Well, it means that there's the body is a soft soft forged, and then there's a face insert, and a face insert is SUP10. I don't know what that stands for yet, but we're getting there. Now, you see that black groove right going around there? That's a flex groove that's been put into the face insert to give it a bit more flex. And then as we talked about the lines, when I said, hey, there's some lines in there, and they did laser mill some lines. Okay, they did laser mill some lines. So if you take a look at this set, you know, it's got, like we talked before, it's got the chrome accents in the right spots. It's got the dull areas in the right spots. And we put the black ferrules on it to give it that, you know, I think the black just gives it that classic look. And it goes because of the gray shaft that was being used into the i70s. And the i70s worked out perfectly. Right? Everything specced out just the way I wanted it. And then it get into the Golf Pride, you know, Tour Velvet Plus 4s, which is new, right? I haven't heard a big splash about these, but I'm telling you, after I've put these things on, they have, you know, if you guys like that Tour Velvet feel but didn't like that Tour Velvet shape, that's something to consider, okay, something to consider. So all the specs came out the way I wanted it. I just wanted to give you a little bit more information on the Srixon product. And now that we are building these, so, you know, if you're interested, let me know. And these are going to Miami. Thank you, Blake. If you guys got any questions about the Srixon product, let me know, because it's a learning curve for both of us, right? It'll be a learning curve for both of us. Now, kind of a history yet again, you know, we carried them way back in the day. We were one of the first component folks with them, and they made some really good stuff back in the day. And Srixon was more concentrating on their golf ball sales and their equipment, although the equipment was really good. Well, now you kind of see it's the equipment stuff starting to climb on these guys, and if you do it like that, that's no joke. So that's what we want to show you. So if you got any questions, again, put them in the show notes. And
let your scores go low.